Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into a really unique message, one that claims all the world's problems, everything from political fighting to climate change, can be traced back to a single human emotion. The solution it offers is just as simple, and the source? Well, the source just calls itself your mother. So, yeah, let's get into it. Right off the bat, the entire message really boils down to this one piece of advice. And, the unusual part is who's delivering it, this source that just identifies as your mother. But this core idea, kindness, it's not presented as just some fluffy, nice idea. It's framed as the absolute fundamental key to changing everything. And here it is, the root of the problem, according to this message. The argument is that all the conflict and division we see in the world, it's not really about complex geopolitics or economics. Nope, it's about something way more personal, our collective anger with one another. So, to start, the message lays out a diagnosis of where we are as a planet. And to be honest, it paints a pretty bleak picture of our current situation. The assessment is incredibly blunt. The world is in a state of chaos. It's not framed as, a temporary dip or a rough patch. It's presented as a deep systemic problem that has to be fixed at its very core. And the message gets really specific about what this chaos looks like. It points to political leaders it calls bullies, our totally self-destructive relationship with the environment, and how we've kind of forgotten the golden rule. It also talks about this deeper spiritual disconnection, calling our wars obsolete and our arrogance just rampant. This is the metaphor the source uses for our environmental crisis. The image is so clear and urgent, isn't it? It's saying our actions aren't just harming some far-off ecosystem, we're directly threatening our own survival. It's basically an act of self-sabotage on a massive global scale. And then there's this analogy, which is all about modern distraction. The idea here is that we're so wrapped up in the superficial stuff, our phones, our day-to-day worries, that we're completely missing the bigger journey. We are, as the source puts it, skimming the surface of the ocean of life. Okay, so after diagnosing the problem as chaos that's fueled by anger, the message offers a single, universal prescription. Let's dive into what that solution actually is. So when the source talks about kindness, it means a lot more than just being polite. It's presented as a practical tool, almost like a superpower. It's a state of mind that lets you think creatively and connect to a deeper wisdom. It's basically the prerequisite for getting the clarity you need to solve our biggest problems. And this is a huge point. According to the message, this makes kindness the absolute foundation for any real progress. It's arguing that all our other attempts at solutions, whether they're technological, political, or economic, they're all going to fail without it. Kindness isn't some optional add-on, it's the essential ingredient. This is where that external action of kindness connects to a big internal shift. The source is suggesting that by practicing kindness, we actually change our whole perception. We start to see the light within. And from that new viewpoint, solutions that seemed totally impossible before, they suddenly become practical and obvious. Okay, so this is all great as a big idea, but how does it actually translate into practice? Well, the message doesn't just stay in the abstract. It lays out some really specific ways to apply kindness in the real world. So here are the 4 key battlegrounds, if you will, where the source calls for action. It covers our political systems, our relationship with the planet and animals, and, this is crucial, our own personal lives and well-being. When it comes to politics, the advice is really direct and, interestingly, totally nonpartisan. The message says, hey, forget party affiliation. Instead, use one simple metric. Is this person kind? It suggests watching how candidates treat their opponents as a major clue and to actively vote out anyone it identifies as a bully. Now, when talking about kindness to the planet, the source makes a highly unconventional claim. It links the rise of diseases like cancer to our modern agricultural practices. Now, it's really important to stress, this is the source's perspective, not a scientifically proven fact. It frames our current system as a kind of slow death we're inflicting on ourselves because of a lack of kindness to the land itself. And this same logic gets extended to our work lives. The source claims our current work culture is just a recipe for high stress and burnout. But a system built on kindness and balance would, maybe paradoxically, lead to way more productivity and genuine well-being. So what's the end game here? If we all actually adopted this prescription of universal kindness, what would the world even look like? The last part of the message paints a pretty incredible vision of a completely transformed future.
This is the ultimate promise, not just a slightly better world, but a fundamentally different one, where our entire perception of reality has shifted. A world of real harmony, seen through what the source calls new eyes.
And here are some of the details of that feature. We're talking about mutual respect between all religions, a universal awareness of how we're all connected, and a collective evolution of human consciousness itself. The source even suggests that from this future viewpoint, our current time will look like the Dark Ages. Pretty wild.
So it really all comes down to this choice, laid out right here. On one side, you've got our current path, which is defined by chaos, anger, and ego. On the other, the path of kindness, which it claims leads to harmony, love, and wisdom. It's presented as a clear, urgent decision that's facing every single one of us.
So we end with this question. The message takes all our incredibly complex global problems and boils them down to one root cause and one single solution. It's simple, but man, it's not easy. And it leaves us all to think about it. What would actually have to change in our own lives and in the world if we all collectively decided to act as if this one simple idea, universal kindness, were true?